Well, yours is even more crazier because it's even more animals, right? There's some
Yeah,
UFOs as well.
yeah, but it's got a kitty.
Interesting. So let's talk about scaling. I know, a big jump of subjects.
What's up everyone, it's Iskander here. Welcome back to Tech Pulse. On the show, we're going to cover the KASPA project and its major news, how it's tracking in terms of price and where it's heading to from here. As always, anything we say in this video is not financial advice and for education and entertainment purposes. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like this video. You can join our free Discord group via the attached link. So firstly, looking at the crypto bubbles, I think we're in the major markup zone in terms of the Bitcoin price and the cryptocurrencies more broadly. You can see on the monthly view, we've got firstly covering major projects like KASPA, that's the topic of this show. It's at 42%, 42.8, Sui at 58, Tau at 67, Rand at 32, say at 24, and of course, you know, degens still degening. We've got major memes like Bong Bread and Filecoin, the triple digit numbers. So it's looking really positive. I think the next two quarters will be really good for crypto. So firstly, let's look at the big Bitcoin price before jumping into KASPA. We've had a major correction from around early January, mid to early January, down to April 5th, April 8th. This has been tariff wars. So, you know, the big T wagering wars with all of the countries, and that obviously impacted equities and crypto. So Bitcoin had a nice retracement of about 30%, which is typical for a bull market to see this. And now we're coiling up again. It's flat. Everyone's going, oh no, we're going to go lower, we're going to go lower. No, it's holding up, right? This is a daily chart. There'll be more ETF inflows. Equities market's already going up. Bitcoin will follow. M2 money supply is increasing. So I think by July, around July, we'll hit 108,000 again, and then set a new, get into the new price discovery mode, and then as per usual, same as last year, July, August, September months are usually slow. The US traders, hedge funds go on leave, take a break, summer holidays. So it's just stuck in a trading range, and then it goes flying again in Q3, Q4. And I think conservatively speaking, we'll be somewhere between 130,000 and 150,000. That's sort of, you could say that's the consensus, the average. And also begs the question: are we in the 4-year cycle now? Bitcoin is an institutional asset, so it's going to trade like equities. We're not going to see altcoins pump as much as they used to, unless there's drastically if there's back conditions in the market like the pandemic in 2020, 2021, and there's huge money printing. I think we're not going to see that again. So you need to be really focused on projects like KASPA, which are set to dominate. But that being said, I'd love to see us going higher, and I'll talk about some of the potential targets after this as well. So that's Bitcoin. It's looking really strong. There are theories, sell in May, go away. Well, we've sold everything we needed to sell. So are we going to sell more in May? Maybe. But I think we're still going to keep, we're not going to revisit 74,000 again. Anyway, that's Bitcoin. Let's move on to KASPA. So for those who are new to KASPA, it's been around for a while now, since November 7, 2021. It's a block tag. It's a proof of work project. It's the fastest proof of work out there now. But it's built on it's effectively Bitcoin 2.0. My current market cap 2.8 billion. 1 second block time. It's about to be 10 blocks per second. Hard fork will be coming on May 5th. It's 30th of April. Max supply is 28, circulating supply 21. That means 80% is mined, so there's no selling pressure as such. And there's more information. You can jump into KASPA.org and explore this further yourself. Now, looking at the price chart, this is what I've created. So we've kind of have these three phases. Firstly, the bull period. So this is when the KASPA's inception in I think 2021. 20 doesn't actually go that far. This is a price chart of MEXC. But this was effectively KASPA going through a bull market and going as much as 70,000%. If you look at CoinMarketCap, you'll see that. And I personally started stacking KASPA at about 0.003, around about there, when it was worth, the whole market cap of KASPA was about 50 million. And this was with size, billions of KASPA. And I kept DCing all the way through to around about end of 2023. And obviously with what's happened here was a relatively new project, firstly mined with GPUs, then ASICs. I started mining KASPA. I bought my first ASIC in sort of mid to late October, which was kind of late, but wasn't. You could still mine it, sell it here. So it did fantastically well because KASPA had major listings, went on to MEXC, BitGet, a whole range of different exchanges, some kind of meaty exchanges. It didn't get to tier ones just yet. I think this is where November 2023 is when Binance announced perpetuals listing for KASPA, and that's when it really shot up in a massive way, and that was effectively the end of the bull period. Then we got into the bear distribution phase, and this lasted a very long time, very long, painful period. This was difficult, obviously, to hold, and many have sold, and effectively what happened is it's a change of hands and distribution of KASPA between early miners and new buyers coming in, because at this stage the bull market returned and Bitcoin started setting new highs. Legacy coins like XRP, Litecoin and others, started pumping, and KASPA was kind of stuck in this range. And then so that's basically a bear period, right? While crypto was going up, KASPA was going through a bear period, so there's kind of not correlated in that sense. And then obviously we had the tariff wars, and that impacted the price. It retraced back to 5.5 cents. It broke the 10 cent support band here. And now we're heading back up. We're back at 10 cents. It's trading at about 9 cents now. You can see it there. And I believe what's going to happen in the coming months, by about July, I'd like to see us get to sort of higher levels, closer to the all-time high, a little bit of retracement, and then when the real hype and the retail returns in Q3, Q4, when Bitcoin is setting new highs in that sort of $130,000, $150,000 range, I'd love to see KASPA get into price discovery, and then based on these Fibonacci levels I've drawn up, you can see here again, very conservative outlook, somewhere here. I'd love to see it at 46 cents. It would make sense to hold it, take some profits. It depends on your investment horizon, whether you want to, if you're early buy here, then that's going to be maybe a 2x. But if we take from here to 46 cents, that's a 400, about 4x. this is 6x, and this is 7x, right? That's not a bad return on a top 43 coin, top 50 coin, and well worth, you could easily put in significant amount of money, unless you're a digital trader and, you're putting $1,000 into memes. KASPA, I think, deserves a bigger allocation, 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever you can, and it'll get there. It's an excellent project. So that's the price analysis. You can see KASPA is at 43 at coin market cap of 2.3. I think to get to those levels, based on what I've drawn up here, if we get to this level, that's a 6x. So we'll get to about 15 billion based on where KASPA is now, maybe back in the top 20. So now looking at the hash rate, this is a really good reference point because it's obviously proof of work, it's mined. We can see there's also distribution across the miners. Obviously price has come down, so it's no longer as profitable to mine it, which is normal. Same happened with Bitcoin back in the day. When the price starts to appreciate, then it'll it's again profitable to mine it. We'll see the hash rate increase, right? And that's consistent. Looking at KASPA analytics here, price against hash rate is down, price is also down. Obviously, as price goes up, hash rate will go up as well. So now on to the major news. Crescendo hard fork roadmap. So we've been going through this roadmap of the 10 blocks per second upgrade. There's Michael Sutton. He's the brains behind it, and sort of a few other developers. They've done a fantastic job on launching the testnet. Testnet's been live for a couple of months, I believe, and now we're finally ready to release the mainnet hard fork, which is coming May 5th. Now I believe that this is already priced into the chart. But that being said, it's effectively puts KASPA light years ahead of Ethereum, Bitcoin, and it's also on the same level playing field in terms of speed with Solana, the likes of Solana and Sui. You can, compare the wallet transfers. They're quicker, on KASPA than Solana at 1 BPS. So can you imagine 10 BPS, how quick that's going to be? And that's the first step to what's to come, which we'll talk about soon. This particular article talks about the throughput. There's enhanced security. There's a bunch of other different upgrades. So this particular diagram I've created to really, simply break down the KASPA price, and it's quite straightforward the way I see it. This is a realistic outlook, and it's quite simple in what's here. So 2025, there's 3 potential scenarios: the conservative and the more bullish. Conservative is 30 to 50 cents, bullish 50 to cents to $1. Now to get to 30 to 50 cents, we need Bitcoin at 130 to 150,000. I think we'll get there. I'm quite confident in that, particularly in Q3, Q4, even potentially higher. There'll be new liquidity. We can see M2 money supply is already increasing. That's the global money supply, which drives liquidity into crypto. Crypto is very receptive to more liquidity, and Bitcoin in particular. I think we'll see Binance listing once the 10 BPS hard fork is live. They'll make some updates to facilitate that within their infrastructure, and then when Bitcoin really starts pumping retail market returns, Binance will be very keen on listing KASPA and profiting from trading fees. I think that's going to happen. Quite confident of that. Non-financial advice, of course. And then 50 cents to $1 I think if Bitcoin gets to that 150 to 100k, a bit more hype, mania, more retail, and more liquidity, BinanceCrypto.com listings. I'm not counting on Coinbase at this stage. They're a bit more stringent in terms of what they list. Perhaps if Binance lists, then Coinbase will come shortly after that. That's possible. We may see a proper alt season where a majority of the top 100 altcoins start to pump. I don't think we'll ever see the likes of 2021, where everything was going up astronomically. It's going to be more selective. You got to be smart about what you hold and what you sell. I think if we see early smart contracts, that's also a springboard to getting, because that increases adoption. And then the $3 to $10, I think that's a more 2028 target, which is the next sort of cycle, is more realistic. BTC will get to, that's definitely going to be higher than that, 200,000. KASPA smart contracts, mainnet. We've got stable coins on KASPA, so hopefully billions of dollars in Tether and USDT coming into KASPA. 1 billion plus memes, so memes like Pepe, Bonk, with proper trading, where to be able to trade these type of memes, you have to buy significant amounts of KASPA and convert it into memes, which we've seen on Ethereum and Solana, and that has a huge pushes up the KASPA price. And then DeFi gaming on KASPA, obviously, with the use of smart contracts, $10 billion in TVL, again facilitated through DeFi and gaming, and then payments, right? So if all of these things happen, which I'm basically stating what Solana's been going through, that just massively increases KASPA's adoption and use and utility overall. So that's it. That's my quick update on KASPA, where it's heading. So thank you for joining. Please subscribe to Tech Pulse channel. And this is Iskander speaking. Looking forward to seeing you back on this channel. Thanks for listening.